Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So good. All right. So now it's being recorded. Okay. All right. So welcome to Role Play Friday. Today is May 30th, 2014. Okay. So like I said, yesterday I did the presentation. There were only, what, 15 people?
Well, the room had about 20 or 22, but there was administration in there as well.
Yeah, there was only like 2 people in administration.
Yeah. Right?
So 20 buying units in that room. Okay, I couldn't close on anything, but I took the feedback from the role play and practice session I did on Thursday or Wednesday, modified the presentation, and came up with a way better presentation. Now, what was cool is I narrowed the presentation down to a 45-minute presentation. So at the end of the day, I cut out some certain sections, rearranged them, added some stories. I went out and got a current picture of Scott Southall, and I got a current picture of Joey Osterbaum, okay? And then I really made a bunch of improvements on my PowerPoint, okay? So I came there with the intention of giving a 45-minute talk. That was my intention. Okay. So my intention was to give a 45-minute talk, and let me do this because I can talk better. They can hear me better if I'm on this. Testing, testing, testing. I gotta test the audio here. You are connected to audio. Can you hear me now? There you go. Okay, perfect. All right. So, as you notice, I didn't even get past the first 3 or 4 slides because they started asking questions, right? And that just goes to the point. The audience was very absorbed into that talk. Uh-huh. And a 2-hour talk, nobody was checking their cell phone, nobody was going to the restroom, right? You have one lady that was like, yeah, I don't want to leave, but I gotta go, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you want, right? Mm-hmm. And what I found that, what I learned was the more authentic, the more closer I can stick with my own real experiences, the more the audience resonated with it, okay? So now what the follow-up items are, whenever you do a talk, right, what are some of the things that you learned out of watching that talk?
You answered the questions. You gave more than I ever thought you'd ever do on the initial meeting. I mean, LinkedIn to me was a huge, we spent about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes on the LinkedIn thing, yeah.
And so, and the analytical was, this is the first time that he actually grabbed the notepad.
Yeah, unmuted. You guys want to participate? Hello? Aura and Sherry, are you there? Hear me now. Okay. If you guys want to chime in on any of this, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna right now. I'm coaching Mark Voles. So you should be able to see my screen right there on the white here. Okay. So, anyways, what else? So you learned.
Another thing that I thought was fantastic is the sales mountain has been 100% improved.
Yeah.
There's little dips in it.
Yeah.
And then when there was that was rapport, and then you told a story where you were selling something that was 40-some thousand. Another company was $15,000 less. You got it because they had analyzed that every hour that the system was down, they lost $100 and some odd thousand.
Yep.
And your competitor had gone down X, whatever, 4 or 5 times the last 6 or 10, I don't know, I remember how many months. And that sealed the deal. And both of those young ladies were like, oh, yeah, that's what I have to do. And it was fantastic. I saw a light bulb go on both of their skulls, and it was turned on.
And so the question that she asked is price, right? She says, you know what, I'm always losing on price. How do I overcome a price objection? And so anytime you're giving a talk where the audience wants to participate, okay, if somebody's there raising their hand and you're sitting in, you know, you want to acknowledge them. So you want to say, hey, give me 1 second, I'll get to your question, just 1 second. You want to have a report and acknowledge them. But at the same time, it's important to get that question answered, because if you can get an interaction going with an audience, like the only reason I took a question, right, was because I knew I had more time if I needed it. If I was at a facility where I was on a timed speech and I had a definite cutoff, I'd say, you know what, because of time restrictions, I can't really, I'm not going to take any questions right now. I'll take your questions at the end. But in that case, the questions are what drove the talk. Correct. Right? So it turned a 45-minute talk into a 2-hour talk, which it could have gone for another 3 hours. And they would have sat there for it. Okay? So what happened was she asked, okay, how do you handle price? Right? And so basically, we're wanting someone's money. So when you look at a teeter-totter, right? We're wanting someone's money. Okay? In order to get their money, over here, we got to add enough value in order for this thing to tip. So now, value is far outweighing the cost. Okay? We do that with benefits. We do that with what's in it for them. That's how we do it. Okay? And that's what I was explaining to her. The other thing that made that a really good meeting is I had a copy of Eric's book there. And so I gave them something of value, and so now I actually have something to call and follow up with every single one of them. Because what I'm after is one-on-one coaching, right? And so I've got a list of all the people that were there with their names and their email addresses, okay, and their phone numbers. And I'm going to contact every single one of them on Monday. And I'll say, hey, John Pyron, you heard me speak last week. Hey, I just wanted to follow up with you. What did you think about the first chapter of that book? Right? Or what impacted you the most in the talk that I gave? What did you get out of it? What did it mean to you personally? What are one or two things that you got out of the meeting that you can immediately implement?
Rapport and asking.
Trust and rapport.
Trust and rapport.
Yeah. So let me see here. I got to bring up a calendar. Somebody actually is supposed to be on the webinar. Hold on. No, Monumental.
You know, I lost count on how many times you mentioned
I thought somebody was scheduled on
the video, right?
On the deal. So, anyways, that's so what I'm going to do now. So here's the magic of it. I got the list, right? Okay. And for those of you that are listening on the recording, okay, I did a group presentation yesterday. I couldn't sell anything. It ended up being a let me get where you can see me. There we go. It ended up being a 2-hour talk because it was driven by the audience. The audience had a bunch of questions. I wasn't able to sell anything, but they were fired up. Okay, and so what's going to happen now is I've got a list of 20 people that are potential coaching clients. And every single one of them got a copy of Eric's book. every single one of them got something of value. And so now I'm going to call them up. So here's the magic move. I'm going to send them all. What you want to do after you do a talk is, number one, send an email. Okay? If you have a Eric Lofholm branded website where you have something that they can opt into for free, then you want to say, hey, it was great meeting you at the event yesterday. I want to give you something else of value. Here's 21 closed videos. Enjoy. Click on this link, and it's going to force them to go. Now, you can register them, but the magic move is you want to have them go there and register themselves. Okay? And once they register themselves, then now they're in your email marketing database. Okay? So send an email. Number two is you want to call each person. Give every single one of them a call. Okay?
2 days after the email or 1 day after the email?
For me, I like to send them an email first, the next day. Like they'll all get an email from me today. This afternoon, they'll all get an email from me. Monday, they're all get a phone call from me. Okay? And I'm going to say, hey, great meeting you on Thursday at the event. And by the way, I mentioned that I'm looking to add some additional people to my coaching practice. And so in order to find the right people to coach with, because coaching's got to be a fit, right? They always say yes. And so I get my first yes right away. Now they're in a positive mood, right? And then I say, how about this? So in my case, what I do is I always give away a free coaching session. And how my free coaching session works is this. You and I would pick a time where we can spend about a half hour on the phone. I get to know you a little bit better, get to know what your goals are, any unique challenges that you're having. And then based off of that conversation, I'll give you some of my best coaching ideas for your unique situation. At minimum, you're going to get 1 or 2 ideas that you're going to be able to immediately implement and benefit from, whether we talk ever again or not. If you like my style of coaching, if you like the way I come across, if you feel like I'm somebody that you would like to coach with, then I can explain to you at the end of our call how my ongoing coaching program works. And if it's a fit for you, you'll have an opportunity to become a client. If not, it's no big deal. How do you feel about scheduling a free coaching session with me? Sure. Okay. That script, the only reason it comes off my tongue so fluid is I probably have said that same script about 400 times. Okay? The same script. You can wake me up at 2 in the morning and I can give you that script word for word, just like I just gave it. And the reason I stick with that same script is it's a 95% close ratio script. 95% of the people that I say that script to say yes. I'm not kidding you. You know? And so 1 out of 20 people that I give that script to say no.
Right.
Okay? And as a result, I have a line now of coaching clients. I have 21 coaching clients right now that I'm coaching. I have a waiting list now, okay, which is a good place to be. Okay? Each one of these people are going to get a call from me. I will have 15 appointments booked next week. I will get about 5 to 10 clients out of this.
So 50% close, 25 to 50% close.
Yeah. And then I'll hand pick the best that I want to keep, and the rest I'll give them away to other people. Okay? And so that's how you follow. So you follow up, right? They send them an email, opt into my database for 21 closing videos, call each one, book a coaching session. Step 3, is going to be run the session. So run the appointment. Okay? So you're going to run the appointment. On the appointment, whenever you do coaching, right, you need to have a game plan for doing coaching. So what I like to do is, and up on the trainer website, one that we're building, there is a talk. If every single one of you go back and listen to Eric's talk that he did back in November called How to Sell One-on-One Coaching. It's one of the best talks he has ever given on how to sell one-on-one coaching, and I've listened to probably 10 different talks that he's given on how to sell one-on-one coaching, and that, in my opinion, was the best one. I literally have taken that, I've listened to it about 25 times, and I duplicated exactly what he teaches in there, and the results he talks about in there are exactly what's happening. Okay? And so I sent this to you. I put it in your Dropbox this morning. I put it in your folder this morning. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm talking to Mark Voles right now. I put that in your folder this morning because Mark has made a decision that I'm going to be his one-on-one coach because he wants to build his trainer business super ultra fast. Okay? And his wife has hired me as her personal coach because she also wants to build a trainer business. She wants to build it fast. So I dropped that call into both of you guys' personal Dropbox folder. You can go listen to it. You want to master, absolutely master that call. If you master that call, you can take somebody's credit card as early as next Tuesday. This is before you even get any talks under your belt. You can sell one-on-one coaching. Eric gives you step-by-step. Here's how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. You do a front-of-the-room talk. Whether you sell anything or not is irrelevant. You send them an email. You contact each one of them. You run through a script. You book a coaching session. On the session, if you and I were on the session live, I would say, Mark, are you ready for your coaching session? And you would say, yes. Yes. I'd say, great. Here's how our session is going to go today. I'm going to ask you some questions designed to get to know you a little bit better. I'm going to ask you a little bit about your goals, a little bit about any sales or business challenges that you have. In the email, the confirmation email, by the way, when you book a coaching session with anybody, you want to send them a coaching appointment confirmation email. And in that email, you re-explain how the coaching session is going to go. And then what I do in my emails, I say, hey, between now and our coaching session, I want you to think of the biggest goal that you're wanting to get after right now and what the biggest challenge you're having is in order to hit that goal. And then on the session, I'm going to give you the great idea. So when I get them on the session, I go, we're going to talk about you, we're going to talk about some of your goals, some of the challenges that you're having, and then here's what's going to happen, Mark. I'm going to give you a full-blown experience of coaching as if you're a paid client already. So you're going to get some of my best ideas and best tips for your unique situation, and at minimum, Mark, you're going to walk out of here with 1 or 2 ideas you can immediately benefit from. At the end of our session, if you like my style of coaching, if you like the way that I run things, and you want to hire me as a coach, I'll explain how my ongoing coaching program works, and if it's a fit, you'll have the opportunity to become a client. If not, it's no big deal. How do you feel? Wait, that's the closing script. Okay, how does that sound? Are you ready to get going?
Yes.
Okay.
So where are you now? Are you in the 1 hour free?
Now I'm in the half-hour coaching session.
The half hour free.
Half-hour free coaching session.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you agreed to the terms. It's an agenda script. So I basically did my agenda script with you, and now I'm going to go. So Mark, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why is it that you do what it is that you do? Again, this is Role Play Friday, so we're going to do this right now.
Well, John, I really want to increase revenue, so when it comes time to retire,
Okay.
fully.
Okay. So you want to retire and increase revenue. And I
Right.
always have, for me, here's another tip. When you're coaching somebody on a free session, always have a notepad. Always have a whiteboard. In my case, I have a whiteboard in my office. I like to do some of my coaching sessions here because I can write on the board, and I always write their name at the top, and then I write down the information, and I take a picture of it, okay? That way, when they do become a coaching client, I don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? And so I would ask you questions about you. You would tell me about you and what your goals are, okay? And then I would say, hey, okay, well, why is that important to you? Why is it that you want to accomplish that?
Well,
So let's actually do this real quick, okay? So let's say we're on the coaching session. I already gave you the agenda script, okay? You're on the free session. Now I'm going to say to you, okay, Mark, why don't you share with me real quick, okay, what appealed to you about having a coaching session with me in the first place? What are you looking to accomplish on today's call?
This is the half hour free, or this is the first
half hour free.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to get out of today's call is some ideas on overcoming the labor market today. I don't care what anybody says. There's jobs that are not available. In my opinion, it stinks. And if I can build a practice, a business, to where it's lucrative, then my family, my grandkids are very important to me, and I want to be able to help them.
Let me ask you this, because we're on a live role play. Why don't I just give you a free coaching session based off of your trainer business, okay?
Okay.
And what it is you want to accomplish. You can share whatever you want, or you don't have to share certain information. That's fine.
Right.
Okay? So you be as bridled or unbridled as you want. The structure will go with the structure. How's that sound?
That sounds fine. The trainers, from what I know of it now, being very new, is I want to run with Eric's stuff.
Okay.
Like you said yesterday, the reason why you came over to Eric is because if he had all of these systems that were already set up, and you didn't have to go get a loan of perhaps $250,000 to start a business, start from scratch. So I would want to get started doing precisely what Eric did, and you do, and you're doing,
Okay.
if I understand it correctly.
And so let's talk about, let's say this. Let's say, and here's a great question for you to write down. Okay, if you're listening to the recording or you're on the live role play today. Okay, here's one of the first questions I always love to start off with. Okay, and I'm going to ask you this question as well. Did this with your wife this morning? It went great. Okay, and that is this. Mark, let me ask you a question. Let's say right now you're in great health, right? Okay, and you have no pending, no permanent illness. You're not going to die anytime soon. Okay,
That's my knowledge.
so let's say that the powers that be said to you, you know what, Mark, we're giving you 1 year left. That's it. 1 year. Okay, you can accomplish anything you want. We're going to allow you to have as much money as you want. You're going to have the ability to do anything you want. Okay? But at the end of the year, we're just going to take you. You're not going to suffer. You're not going to suffer a bad death or any of that stuff. In fact, you're not even going to die. We're just going to make you disappear. Okay? And so, but you got 1 year. That's it. Okay?
Okay.
So,
How much money do I have?
whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay? So, what is it that you would like to do with your time over this next year? What's most important to you?
I've never thought like this. I've seen it before. The first knee-jerk reaction, without thinking about it, would be to hire a crew in a nice boat, one of those big yachts, and sail the whole world with whoever wants to go with me.
Okay? So you want to sail the world, specifically on a yacht.
Yeah. Or we can fly sometimes as well.
Would you take family?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Who else would you take?
Prior students who want to go?
Okay. Settle on a yacht with family and friends. Okay. Now that you're sailing with family and friends, what else would you like to do with your time?
Start writing books.
Okay. What else? 1 year. Would you spend more time with family?
Yeah, they're on the boat with me, yeah.
Would you take a trip that you've always wanted to take? Would you build a business? Would you do a missionary? Is there any of that stuff that appeals to you? Would you buy a car that you've always wanted to buy and just drive it?
I have all that. What I would want to do is to have an impact on young people's lives.
Okay. And specifically, well, we'll get into specifics here in a minute. Anything else that you would like to accomplish? Keep in mind, money's not an issue. And you got we got 1 year, so you do have a finite amount of time.
So can I give money?
Yep.
Oh, well then we're definitely going to start some kind of a university or some kind of a school where not just the brightest kids, because they'll always do well, but the kids that perhaps in school it just didn't work for them, and there would be a place for them to go, perhaps to learn a trade, because California's getting rid of all the trades, and to serve those people who serve us every day.
So start a special school for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the second one? Start an educational program that specifically helps trades, people that can't really afford college to be able to go to college.
Correct.
You got a big passion for helping people through education.
Yes. So we have chef schools, we have electrician schools, beautician schools, sales schools. They can call in and in other words, the Eric Lofholm business model.
And start a special school for service workers.
Yep. Not everybody's going to go to the university, John.
Okay. Writing books impact on young people's lives. Start a school for a special school for kids. Start a special school for service workers. Sail the world on a yacht with your family and friends. And write books.
That's it. I'm dead. I mean, I disappeared. A year later.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Now let's expand. Okay, so this is what I would call dreams. Now, let me ask the question a different way. Let's say you did not know. You can live for another 20 years. Let's say the powers that be came down and said, you know what, Mark? If you accomplish this stuff right here, if you focus on this stuff right here, we're going to let you live for another 30 to 40 years. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to keep you in great health the entire time. Are these things still the most important things?
At this time, yeah. I'm sure now that I'm dreaming, I'll come up with something when this is over with. But yeah,
Right?
it's a good place to get started.
Now, looking at this list, what would what is number 1 on this?
The yacht.
Okay. What's number 2?
Well, the impact on young people's lives and the start of, I would say financially.
Or are these 2 things the same?
Yeah, those are all about the same.
Okay. All these 3 are about the same?
Correct.
Okay. So this would be number 2. And then this would be finally number 3. Because after you accomplish this, you can write books on how you did it. So that means at the end of your 30 years, you have a legacy that you can leave behind on how you did it that's going to impact not these people forever.
Correct.
Okay? I like that. Do you think that if you had a step-by-step plan with exactly what to do each day, and then if you just accomplished that on that list that day, how much more excited would you be about getting up in the morning?
Much more.
Okay? The biggest challenge that people have with this is they don't know how to get there, or they don't think it's possible. Okay?
Correct.
And go ahead.
There's one more.
Okay.
I've always wanted to live on Lake Tahoe.
All right. You want to
On Lake Tahoe.
on Lake Tahoe
With a dock. I've given up on that dream, John. I had that dream a long time.
live on Lake Tahoe. So would that be higher priority than these?
That would probably be that would be 3, and writing books would be 4.
Okay.
I will be writing books while I'm. I need something else. I'll be writing books while I'm looking out over the lake. People sailing.
All right. So this now becomes number 4, and this becomes number 3. Okay. So if you're just now joining us on the webinar, I'm doing a coaching session with Mark Volz. And I'm running this coaching session with Mark. Mark has graciously volunteered because he's in my office today. And I'm running an actual coaching session. What I would do if I was giving out a free coaching session with someone, okay? This is the exact dialogue I would walk them through in that coaching session, and then I'm going to close Mark at the end on becoming one of my one-on-one coaching clients. And so we're right in the middle of that session, and you can go back and listen to the recording to start from the beginning. Okay? All right, so 1, we're going to sail the world on a yacht with some family and friends. Number 2 is we're going to impact young people's lives by starting a special school for kids and starting a special school for service workers. Then we want to live on Lake Tahoe. Finally, we want to write books about what we did. Right? So if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that the actions you're going to take tomorrow morning are going to get you all this stuff, is there anything else on here that would be more important? Or would that be it at this time? Okay. So if you had a step-by-step plan, you had all the skill set in the world, and you knew for a fact all you had to do was accomplish 2 things tomorrow, and that would get you one step closer to this and ultimately having this. Would you take those 2 steps?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would there be anything that would get in the way of you taking those 2 steps?
As long as it's legal.
Okay. And so it's not a matter of time, right? It's not a matter of you having the time. It's a matter of you knowing what to do.
Correct.
Right? There you go. So let me ask you this. Huh? No,
That's what you
sit
said.
right there.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: is what's preventing you from starting?
I've never dressed like this before.
Okay. And so, when's the last time you thought about stuff like this?
2 years ago. 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 Oh, it's been years, probably 20, 30 years.
Okay. And what do you think has been preventing you from thinking like this?
Well, John, you as well know when you get knocked down a few times, because life will knock you down. It's not how many times you're going to get down or if you're going to get knocked down. It's when you're going to get back up.
Sure.
So there's been things that have happened that have knocked me down, and I haven't gotten back up.
Okay.
All right. And I believe that what I've done in the past, literally, people should be standing in line to talk to me. And that life doesn't work like that.
No.
So, because I know an awful lot about an awful lot of things. So, I guess I just haven't got back up and started dreaming again.
And so what do you think needs to happen to accomplish those goals?
I need a plan.
Okay. You need a plan. Let me do this. Let me snapshot this.
Was that Zig Ziglar who said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll always get what you want? Was that Zig?
Uh-huh.
I've met Zig. I shook his hand.
If you'll help enough other people in life get what they want, you can have everything out of life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. And it's true. So these things are dreams, okay? So the first step, Mark, in goal setting is you got to figure out what you want. And everything, and I'm going to email you. So Mark, I'm in my office, because you and I would be on the phone doing a coaching session if I was doing a live coaching session, right?
Would you be Skyping it like you are now?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
I would be on the phone, I'd be writing this down, I would say, Mark, you know what, I'm in my office, I just took the notes on the whiteboard, I'm going to send you a snapshot of my whiteboard when I'm done. Okay? Or if I got them on the phone and I don't have a whiteboard, okay, I would send them a copy of my sheet. I would take a picture of it and send it to them. So for those of you that are just joining us, I'm doing a live coaching session with Mark Bowles. And we've already gone through the first step of this coaching session. Now we're going to get into narrowing it down towards giving some actual practical steps, okay? So Mark, here's my first action item in coaching for you. Number one, okay, and I want you to write this down. Everything that you just said you wanted, okay, what you need to do, the first step before you can even do anything beyond this, because without this step, nothing else that I tell you or anybody else is going to tell you is going to work. Okay? You know, you're familiar with Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you know the true story, Disneyland was built before they ever even broke ground.
In Walt Spring?
Okay? Walt had it already visualized in his brain. Okay? Steve Jobs already had Apple visualized in his brain. Okay? So the step one is you need to take as much time as you need to take. Start off with 2 hours. So here's an actionable step, Mark, for the next 2 days. If this stuff is that important to you, you will find 2 hours. I want you to sit down, turn the cell phone off. I want you to turn off everything, and I want you to answer the call. 911 exists for a reason. Relatives, family, kids, they can all call 911 if it's an emergency. Okay? The only thing that gets to interrupt these 2 hours is your own death. Okay? So you take those 2 hours, and I want you to crystallize your vision. Because all a dream is it's a vision of what it looks like when it's completed. Give you an example. Let's say one of the items up here was going to be a new car. And I would say, okay, Mark, exactly what kind of car is that going to be? Well, John, I would think I would want a BMW M5, which I gave away what my next car is going to be. So I would say, okay, in order to visualize and crystallize that vision, I want you to go down to the BMW dealership and I want you to plop your butt inside of an M5. Smell the interior, okay? Grip the handles, okay? Take it for a test drive if you can, okay? What you got to do with your vision of getting on a boat is go and get a picture of a boat, okay?
Yacht.
A yacht, and get a and put your family members, cut out pictures of your family in little miniature form and put them on that yacht. Or if you know somebody that's really good with computers, they can take a picture of a yacht and they can digitally put your family members on that yacht and a picture of you. And now you have a very crystal clear picture of the yacht. Can you do that?
Absolutely.
So over the next 24 hours, actually let me give you a little bit of a break. Over the next 48 hours, you're telling me you can carve out 2 hours to sit down and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this. Are you going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here, if you're going to do it, then here's what I want to hear from you. John, I'm going to do it.
John, I'm going to do it.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. When you complete it, I want you to send me an email. And in the subject line, put, John, I completed it. Can you do that?
Yep.
All right. Once you get that done, next, either with me as your coach or someone else, now I want everybody to hear what I just said. That's called a takeaway. Okay, it's called a takeaway close. It's a trial close. Okay? So what I want you to do when you complete this, Mark, whether it's with me, and here it is, or someone else, okay? Because what I've done is not only have I taken it away, but I've made sure in his brain to implant in him, he ain't going nowhere without somebody helping him get there. I should be a poet. That actually rhymes.
That's it.
Wow.
Okay.
And so here's what I need you to do. Once you get this done, then you get your coach. Find a person to mentor with. Can you do that, Mark?
Uh-huh. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I have to know if you.
So once you get your vision in place, what I'm hearing you say is you're committed to find somebody that you can mentor with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you again in a different way. Once you get your vision in place, are you committed to find somebody to work with?
Yes.
Okay, so I just closed Mark on coaching. He didn't even know anything about my program yet. Okay, let me give you one more step, Mark. Another action step. I'm going to send you a link to opt in to Eric Lofholm's goal setting CDs. Because whether you work with me or not, doesn't matter what coach you work with, now that you got your vision in place, we need to start learning how to goal set. We need to get these things in crystal clear goals, because from the goals, we're going to be able to create a plan of action with some strategies and some tactics. Okay? Until we do this, we can't do this. Once we do this, we can do this. And then what happens next is you create a plan of action. Now, the reason, when I was early on in sales, okay, I had a guy named Dave Vanny that set me down. He's a millionaire, and he was basically, he helped me go through this, okay? He agreed to mentor me. Okay? He taught me how to set goals. Okay? He helped me develop a plan of action. Okay? Notice I said a plan of action. What I was not ready for was taking action. So here's my question for you, because I mentioned to you that I'm looking to bring on some additional coaching clients, but I don't just bring on any coaching clients. Okay? I can help you do this. I can help you do this, which is find a person to mentor with. I can help you get your goals set. I can help you develop a plan of action, but I cannot get you to take action. And I only work with 20 people at one time. And I've only got 2 spots left. Those 2 spots are only going to be given to people that are ready to hit their dreams and goals. So here's the question I have for you. Be honest with me, because I'll find out within the first 30 days if you're not. Are you ready to take action towards your goals? Yes. Okay. Next qualifying question. Okay, and this is a deal breaker. Okay, if I agree to take you on as a coaching client, are you willing to show up at a designated time or place that we agree upon, either in phone call or in person, whichever we agree on? Yes. Okay. Would you like to be one of the 20 that I work with if the money makes sense? Yes. Okay. Aside from money, is there any other thing that would prevent you from moving forward? No. Okay. So let me explain to you. Do you like my style of coaching? Do you think I'm somebody that you would like to coach with? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So let me explain to you how my ongoing coaching program works. I only work with 20 people at one time. I've only got 2 slots left. Once the 2 slots are filled, it's full. Okay. I have actually 21, but 3 of them I'm coaching for free. So I got no more pro bono sessions available. Okay. So here's how it works. I either work with you 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 45-minute sessions minimum, and then we take a week off. Or 2 full-hour sessions minimum per month. Now, I keep saying minimum because my coaching program is not like any other coaches you're going to find. And how do I know this? Because my own business coach created this. Okay? My good buddy, my sales coach, Eric Lofholm, taught me how to sell this. Okay? So here's how my coaching program works. 3 weeks on, 1 week off, or 2 one-hour sessions. But I'm also going to give you unlimited email and unlimited phone access to me. Okay? I guarantee the coaching. How the guarantee works is this. If you and I work together for the first 30 days, and either one of us doesn't feel like it's a fit, I'll give you a full refund. Notice I said either one of us. Mm-hmm. This is a two-way relationship, Mark. You could bail too. Okay? So both of us have the opportunity to bail within the first 30 days. And there's no money out of either one of our pockets. Okay? After the first 30 days, my coaching program goes month to month. You can fire my butt anytime you want. And I can fire you anytime I want. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not helping you get results, you should fire my butt anyways. Right. I agree. And if you're not willing to do the work, I'm going to fire you to make room for somebody who does. Does that make sense? Absolutely. Okay? So here's my fee. $500 a month. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, here's what I do, because I'm interested in a long-term relationship, and I don't want you paying me out of your pocket. Okay? So for the first month, I've cut the fee in half. So So it's $250, okay? And then I'm going to work with you over the next 30 days to teach you how to develop a $500 a month reoccurring revenue, and I'm going to teach you how to have your clients pay me instead of you paying me. Because I think you would rather your clients pay me, right, versus you pay me.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's a good deal.
The other thing, the other reason I do it is if I can't get you to make an additional $500 over a 30-day period of time, either you should fire my butt or you're not doing the work and I'm going to fire you. So here's the question I have for you. How would you like to be one of the 20 that I work with?
When do we start?
That's how easy it is, people. Okay? You got to believe in your own coaching to talk that talk. Okay? And so, actually there's, see who's on the line. Celia too. Okay. So what I would do at this point is I would go, fantastic. Welcome aboard. When would you like to schedule your first full coaching session? We got a lot accomplished today and you got some homework. Okay? What time next week would you like to talk? And then we whip out the calendar and then I would book the appointment. And then, before I do that, I would say, you know what, do you want 3 weeks on, 1 week off, or do you want 2 full-blown 1-hour sessions? The first session is going to be a full hour. Because we're going to get your game plan in place. Okay? So, and then we would book it, right? And I'd say, okay, what credit card do you want to use?
MasterCard.
Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so Mark, today is May 30th. I'm going to charge it today. And then every month on the 30th, it's just going to auto-charge until you tell me to stop. Keep in mind, today is $250. Next month's going to be $500. Okay? I am not going to send you out a reminder or any of that stuff. It's just going to come right out. Okay? If it doesn't come out and it gets declined, I'll simply make a phone call to you. I will not chase you down. I'll make a phone call. If you don't get back to me, I'll free up the spot for somebody else. Okay? The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email right now. It's going to summarize all the stuff I committed to. I need you to respond back to the end. It's going to have the last 4 digits of your card number that you agree to use. I simply need you to respond to that email saying, I agree to hire John Pyron as my personal coach, and I agree to everything in this email. Okay? Once you get that email back to me, then we're good to go. Okay? And I'm going to schedule the call. Now, keep in mind, I don't want to spend our coaching sessions teaching you how to generate a lead. Okay? I don't want to spend our coaching session, answering quick questions that I can answer in a quick email or a quick phone call. With the exception of Sunday, you can call me any day of the week, all day long. If I answer, great. If not, go to voicemail, send me a text, carrier pigeon, whatever. I'll respond as quickly as I can. But I don't want you waiting for our coaching session to make valuable decisions that's going to help us achieve your goal. And you know why I do this, Mark? Because 10 years from now, when you're still my coaching client and you're paying me more than $500, I'm going to look back on the first 2 or 3 months where I spent lots of hours with you, and I'm going to go, you know what, that was a great investment of my time because now you're sailing around the world on your yacht. Does that sound exciting?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay, I'm excited to work with you. Bam! So in the ELI trainer business, okay, you got to find what your passion is. Why are you in this program? Okay? And it's personal for every single one of you. Personal for all of you. Okay? And the bottom line is this, is you can achieve your dreams and hopes. Okay? Mark talks about doing getting on a yacht, hiring a guy to drive him around the world. Guess what? Mark doesn't, in today's world, Mark does not have to own the yacht. Mark can rent the yacht, and you know what? If Mark's got a good thriving coaching practice, and Mark says, oh, well, to rent the yacht's going to cost $10,000 a month. Well, guess what? If Mark does 20 coaching clients, even if all 20 of them are paying him $50 a month. What's going to happen is Mark's skill set's going to get so good at one-on-one coaching that pretty soon he's going to be able to charge $100 a month. And then he's going to be able to charge $150, and then he's going to be able to charge, $300, then he's going to be able to charge $500. When I started my one-on-one coaching practice, I was charging $100 a month. Now you can't get me for less than $500 a month. And and Eric said $1,000 a month. Okay, Dr. Donald Moyne is $6,000 a day. Jay Abraham is $40,000 a day. Okay, and so I tell my long-term plan, and this should be everybody else's plan. I have clients when I started that I took on 2 clients for free. So here's how my coaching practice is broken up right now. I got 2 coaching clients, actually I got 3. I got 3 people that I'm coaching right now for free. I've got 1 person, my buddy Mark here, that I am coaching him in exchange for him and I doing joint ventures together as far as setting up group presentations. Okay? Then I've got 1 person at $50 a month. I've got 1 person at $100 a month. I've got 1 person at $250 a month. I've got 3 people at $300 a month, 1 person at $400 a month, 2 people at $500 a month, no, at $450 a month. And I've got, how am I missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Nine people at $500 a month. Okay? What my goal, okay? The reason I'm sharing you with this is when you're looking to develop your coaching practice, you want to have this completed on paper. My goal is to have 20 clients at $500 a month. That was my original goal when I started building my coaching practice. When I set out to build my coaching practice from day one, I did a Z strategy. If you don't know what the Z strategy is, post it in the Facebook group. Somebody will answer the question. Or send an email out in the trainer community or the platinum or even the gold protege program and say, what is the Z strategy? Okay? And so I envisioned a full coaching practice to be 20 clients at $500 a month, which is $10,000 a month. The reason I chose that is because not one client can take down my business. Okay? Not one client can cancel on me and take my business down. And this right here is dependent upon me. It's not dependent upon anybody else, no employees, no nothing. It gives me all the cash flow I need for my own personal needs and my own cash flow for my business. The 3 free people, right, are people that one of them is my video guy who's coming in this afternoon to shoot 3 videos to shoot 2 hours worth of video with me. The other guy is my web guy who does all my web work, okay? The other guy is my content writer, okay? And I coach them for free with a barter situation, just like Mark's, okay? At Mark, there's money there that comes back to me, okay? When he books me on a talk, we're going to split the revenue, okay? I'm going to find one more. I need one more free one we're a barter situation and I need a graphics person. And each one of you should have this. Okay? You can do this because guess what? You've been training Silver, Protege, and the graphics guy, the video guy, the web guy, and the content writer don't know how to sell. And 9 times out of 10, when you find them where they're at, they're stuck. They got a handful of clients and that's it. They can't grow. They don't know how to grow. And if you master Silver Protege, you can teach them how to sell. Okay? And I coach these people. Okay? Now here's what's going to be cool. Once I get 20 clients, okay? Once I get 20 clients total, so I got 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is 18. Okay? Once I'm going to nail 2 more. I'm selling one this afternoon. Right after this call, I'm closing this guy in Tennessee, and then I'm closing another one tomorrow. So I have my 20 by month end, which was my goal. Okay? Once I get to 20, here's the strategy. I'm going to go out and I'm going to find one more. I'm going to find one more at 500. Okay? Once I get the one at 500, I'm going to this guy. I'm going to go, hey, Mr. Client, you and I have been coaching together for 2.5 months. You have done really good. You've made a lot of really good money. But here's the challenge. I've got a person on my waiting list. Okay? And they're going to pay me my coaching fee, which is now up to $500 a month. When you and I first started, my coaching fee was $300 a month. But now my skill set's better. Obviously, you've gotten a huge benefit from that. And I'd love to keep you as a client. And so I'm coming to you and I'm asking you, do you want to keep your spot or do you want to give it away because this spot is now worth $500 and I can't afford to coach you anymore at $50? Which would you prefer? And if she says, yes, I'm staying at $500, then I go to the next person. Okay? And so now her fee goes up to $500. And let's say this guy says, no, can't afford it. No problem. This just went up to 10. I go to my next person. Well, actually, at that point, I would lose this.
Right.
I go out and find another one, get one on the hopper, one in the waiting, then I go to my 250 guy here. Same script. No, can't afford it. No problem. You change your mind, let me know. If I have an open spot, great. If not, you can go back on the waiting list. And I'm going to do this systematically down the line until I have 20 people $500. And then I'm not going to bring on another coaching client. You know why? Here's what you're going to do. Here's how you build business. Here's how you build $1 million company. Those people that are not on the Role Play Friday Live, you should definitely listen to this recording. Now, I got my 20, right? My assets that I need is I need a full-time assistant. I need a full-time sales admin. These are W-2 employees. This right here is going to cost me $1,800 a month. This right here is going to cost me about $2,100 a month. Okay? And so now, my coaching more than covers that, but because I'm selling Silver Protege, I ain't paying for this. These two people, I'm hiring this person on Monday, I'm hiring this person Monday afternoon. Hiring both of these people on Monday. Okay? These two people, because when I bring somebody on payroll, because I don't have to pay them for 3 weeks, because they're at the beginning of my payroll cycle, now I charge people a lot of money for this coaching, so you're getting it right now because I love to teach it. 1st through the 15th, it's paid on the 20th. 16th through the end of the month, paid on the 5th. I don't have to cash flow this until the 3rd week of June. Okay? Do you think that these two people could help me sell enough Silver Proteges between now and the 3rd week? If they don't, then I suck as a business owner, and I really need some coaching. Okay? I'm bringing it raw and real today because when it comes to building a business, this is not, it's no fun and games once you hire your employee. It is serious business. You have commitments. You are responsible. I'm going to be responsible for 2 people's families here. It's going to make me play a higher game because I'll be damned if I ever miss a payroll. I have never missed a payroll in my entire years of being in business. I myself have not gotten paid. Right? PG&E got paid. But these guys got paid. Okay? Now, the other thing, the other assets I need to have in place is I need to have some barter relationships because now what's going to happen is going to be magical. When I have a graphic guy that I'm coaching him one-on-one, or I can pay for him, I need a web guy, I need a content writer, I need a videographer / photographer, and I'm set. And now here's the game plan. I have 20 clients, $500. I am going to pour all of my heart, soul, and energy into helping them be super, super, super successful. I'm going to teach them everything I know about sales process, about scripting. I'm going to help them get their sales processes together. Some of these people are going to pay me outside of this to create all of that stuff for them, so I'm going to have some consulting revenue coming in. I'll have probably an average of $5 grand a month in just consulting revenue helping them build their internal systems. Because each one of these people are going to build $1 million companies. My content writer, along with my full-time assistant, is going to work together with each one of these clients to help them write their case study and their customer testimonial. The video guy, who is being managed by the full-time assistant, is going to videotape video testimony from each one of these clients. My web guy is going to make it work all really nicely and pretty on my website. Okay? My content writer is going to start writing my book. And then what's going to happen, 1 year, so I taken it from here, I built it to here, okay? I'm going to plateau on purpose for a year. For 6 months to a year, I will not bring on another coaching client. I will invest everything I've got in these 20 clients. I'll get my book written, which is this next point right here. And then I'm going to go to each one of these people, and I'm going to say, listen, my fee is now $1,000 a month. Okay? But before I do that, I'm going to go out and find one client at $1,000 a month. And how I'm going to find that person is I'm going to take my book that this guy wrote for me that came from these 20 clients. The book is going to be nothing but success stories of what I've done with these guys. I'm going to go to a business owner, I'm going to go, listen, tell you what, I'm going to leave this book with you for the next 48 hours. We don't need to talk at all. In fact, I got nothing else to say. I'm just going to leave the book with you. Those are all the success stories. This is what I've done. All the other coaches that are walking through the door saying they're all of this, right? You ask them for something like this. I'm going to leave it with you for 48 hours. I'm going to come back in 48 hours. If you're ready to go, have a check ready for me for $1,000. If not, I got somebody else waiting. That person is going to agree. I'm going one by one again to each one of these people, and I got an 85% chance of every single one of them going up to $1,000 a month. So now my income is $20,000 a month. My overhead didn't change. I may have bumped this person up to $2,500. I may have bumped this person up to $2,600. But that's it. So I just increased my income. Okay? Now, once I get my 20 out of 1,000, I'm going to write my second book. Because I'm going to have some new clients. And then my fee, because I'm so damn good by then, okay, is going to go up to $2,500 a month. Which is, what's that, like $243,000? No, it's $20,000, $35,000. Right? Now it's $500,000 a year. 2,500, 2 times 2,500, yeah.
About it. 10 times 25 would be 250,000. Plus more, plus
2,500
20
times
270
times 20. 50,000 a month. Okay. Times 12, that's 600,000 a year. Again, my overhead did not change.
Yeah.
This went to probably 4,000.
Right.
This went to about 4,000 because I want happy admins. Oh, by the way, the sales admin, the entire time I'm doing this, is selling the hell out of Eric Laughlin Silver Protege. And I ain't selling jack. I'm probably selling 60, 70 silvers a month. And I didn't sell any of them. But I get 50% commission. This is how you build $1 million company. About 3 years. Yeah. Now, once you get to this point, what do? You go back and get another client. You write another book. And you just continue this process. At the end of, for me personally, at the end of 5 years, it's going to be $1.2 million in coaching. It's going to be $675K in ELI or Johnny Hiron sales. I'll have $450K in book sales, and probably another $1 million in joint venture revenue, speaking engagement.
Have you ever built it?
All because I paid $5 grand to be in an Eric Laughlin trainer program. I plugged into the trainer resources, and I did the work. No, I have never revealed this. This is my business coach's plan for my business.
You wrote this.
My business coach. Me and my business coach.
John. The other.
No.
Danny.
No, Mark.
Oh, Mark. Okay.
Not Mark, Mike.
Mike, okay.
Right? And so, because Mike has built this already. Mike has lots and lots of coaching clients. Lots and lots, I mean, millions of dollars in revenue. And the sky's the limit. So you want your yacht, travel around the world, right? It's one step at a time, okay? The faster you can get your first coaching client either for free or for 25 bucks a month, the faster you get to them. Okay? How you do it, man? Just one day at a time. Okay?
How many people are on?
All right, I'm going to unmute the lines.
Hi, John. This was terrific.
Let's see here. Can you hear me now? All right, it's coming on.
No.
Can you hear me now? There we go. All right. Are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
Much better.
How much did they hear?
All right, did you guys hear what I was talking about?
Yes. Thank you. Awesome.
Okay. So you guys were able to hear the whole webinar?
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet. I was looking at my screen. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I had the volume on.
No, you did. You did.
Okay. And so, any questions about what we talked about?
John, can I just ask you two simple questions? I know I came in at a later part, but how long do you speak to as far as a time frame for each session?
So each one-on-one coaching session?
Yes. Is it 45 minutes, a half hour, an hour?
Typically, I'll do a half hour.
Okay.
So if I'm doing a free coaching session, I walk them through that dialogue for about a half hour is what I do. And I have a clock, a timer, and I've got a process that I go through. I need to get them. See, one of the things I've learned is people can go down a rabbit hole. People can go down a situation where they'll start asking questions, or they'll go into long explanations about certain questions that you ask, and you've got to get control of the situation, because otherwise you're going to look up and you're nowhere near being able to close. So I've done many coaching sessions where I allowed them to control the coaching session, and
I ran out of time to be able to close, and because until you can get somebody to a point where they are like begging you in their mind to take them, please take me on, man. Unless you can get them to that point, you're not going to have a good coaching relationship even if they came on board.
Right.
They have to realize that, hey, you know what?
Oh,
you are in a position to help them accomplish their goal.
Okay, makes sense. And do you meet with them once per month or twice? How often per month on the sessions?
So the question is so what I just told you a second ago, that was for my free one-on-one coaching session. Okay. So whenever I'm enrolling somebody in coaching, I always give them a free coaching session first. And I limit that to a half hour because I want to be able to close. And I help them focus. So a couple of questions, two main questions I ask people on a free coaching session is I tell them, hey, you're healthy, right? They go, yes. I go, and you have a good relationship with your family, right? Yes. Okay, let me ask a question here. You don't have a terminal illness, right? Good. Let me ask you a question. Let's say the powers that be, and you got to be careful when you're talking about, I never say God or any of that other stuff, even though I'm a man of faith, right? I have my own faith. I just stay away. I use a universal term. So I said, let's say the powers that be that determine your life decide that, you know what, we're going to give you 1 year left. You're not going to die a painful death. In fact, you're not even going to die. We're just going to end things. The world's coming to an end for you 1 year from now. And you have an unlimited budget. We're going to set up a special ATM account for you, and you can withdraw as much money as you want. There'll always be unlimited resources in that account. But you only have 1 year to do whatever you want to do, and whatever you do over this next 12 months is what people are going to remember you by. So, given that category, given that question, what would you do? And then I'm silent.
That's powerful.
And it is one of those questions that sifts through all the crap. I've had clients take me down. I've allowed clients to take me down so many roads on a free coaching session, and I got sick and tired of giving away a coaching session that didn't turn into a coaching client. And I've got my close ratio now where I close about 90 to 95% of every free coaching session I do. And so, and I only got that good because I did a ton of bad coaching sessions. Okay? I decided, you know what, I'm gonna coach anybody and everybody. I don't care if I have to coach them for free, $20 a month, $30 a month. I don't care. I need 20 in order to get the reps in order to get the coaching repetitions in so I can get good. And so when you ask that question, it immediately takes it to an emotional topic for them. And unless you can get it on an emotional level, the price is too high. I can't afford it. Right? But when you take them down the road of their dreams, and what's important, because whenever you ask that question, you think about it, Celia, for every single one of us human beings, whenever you ask that question, it will always be family will be number one.
Sure.
And you get into an immediate conversation about their family, their wives, their kids, right? And so Mark was very specific. I want to get a yacht. I want to rent it. I want to take my family and my friends, and I want to put them on the yacht, and I want to sail the world. Now, if I was on, depends on how Mark answered the question, I would say, okay, tell me who would be there. What would that be like? I would expand on that dream.
Okay.
Right? And And then once you get it to that level, you say, you go through the rest of the questions, and then it becomes a very powerful close. Because the close is always going to be the same. The 2 action items that you're going to give them are always going to be the same. And it's going to be, hey, over the next 48 hours, I want you to sit down, and I want you to spend time with just you. And I want you to get very crystal clear on that goal, on that vision. And once you get crystal clear on that vision, then it makes sense for you to work with a coach, someone like myself or someone else, so I take it away, and help you develop some goals around that and help you develop a plan and help you take action. So here's where I get to find out whether you're coachable or not.
Mm-hmm.
To where you even qualify to be one of my coaching clients, and that is, are you willing to do that?
Makes sense, definitely. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible to say no after that, actually.
Yeah. And so the thing is I mean, to give you an example, most of my coaching sessions, okay, Mark today, there's a lot I learned in doing that with Mark today. I worked out a couple of kinks in my coaching, my free coaching session today, right? That one question I asked Mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came up with that question in one of my coaching sessions this morning. Okay? I just learned that this morning, and the only reason I learned that is because I was given somebody, well, she's a paid coaching client. This was her first session.
Wow, that must have been very powerful.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the answer to my prayers, because that's what it's about. It's about, there's so many people out there, myself included, who get beat up from society and from the world, and they've lost their dream. And if you can help somebody, and that's what we do as a coach, if you can help somebody get their dream back, they'll sell their house to pay for it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I definitely would imagine so.
If somebody
But let me ask you, from someone who's first starting, would you recommend the coaching go around silver until we increase our knowledge, increase our momentum?
That's a great question. It's a great question. Here's what I would recommend. If coaching is something that you want to do, is coaching something that you would like to do?
Yes, I'm a life coach.
Okay.
But I put it on hold. I'm going to use the Eli business, I'm an Eli trainer, to leverage my coaching business.
Perfect. Perfect. And so you know what would be, this actually works really, really, really well for you. Because if you go and, in fact, the coaching client that I had this morning, right, she's a salesperson, she sells insurance, okay? Mm-hmm. And her husband happens to be in the trainer program. And in Eric Lofholm International, whatever program you have paid for, you can give up to 3 family members the entire program for free.
Oh, I didn't realize also the trainer program too.
Yeah, it's not widely announced on the trainer program, but if you've got a family member that would like to, and there's a qualification for everybody to be in the trainer program, whether, you can give it to them, but they definitely got to go through me, and we got to make sure that it's a fit for them. And if it is a fit, they get the program for free. Okay? Right. And so his wife is a salesperson for insurance, but her passion is to be a life coach. That's what she wants to do. She wants to coach and empower women. And right now, she's miserable. She's been in sales for 15 years. And, they changed the game rules on her. She's no longer happy there, and she's kind of feeling stuck, and kind of have lost, her dream is starting to become non-visible.
Right.
And so I said, hey, did you know that because your husband's in the trainer program that you have the ability to be in the trainer program too? She said, no, I had no idea. I said, well, now you know. And so here's what you do. And this applies to you because she's going after the same dream and goal that you have, is you go and you do a front-of-the-room talk, a conference call or webinar, preferably a front-of-the-room talk. You deliver a awesome talk where you can sell on Silver Protege, or you give away something for free. And I would recommend giving away the book, This System.
Right.
And you don't just give it away. You say, at the end of my session today, I'm going to raffle off Eric's book, The System. So if you want to be in the raffle, start getting your business card out because I'm going to have you pass it forward. And then at the end, you raffle off the book. And you do that whether you sell silver or not. You always, always, always give away a copy of The System whenever you speak because you can collect all the leads from the room. Okay? At the end of your talk, you're going to close on silver. You know, if people buy, great. If not, no big deal. The next day, you send out an email. Hey, it was great seeing you and meeting you at yesterday at my talk. I hope you got a lot out of it. Out of curiosity, what was your biggest takeaway? And then I thought about something else I can give away, and that is I can give you 21 closing videos. And so click on this link and sign up for 21 closing videos. Now, if you have your ELI branded site, which thank God I'm going to have the code on that on Monday, okay. Or you can do what I'm doing is I did a barter situation where I'm coaching somebody one-on-one in exchange for web work, and they're going to take all the affiliate links and they're going to create registration pages on my website with the affiliate links embedded. And so I can drive people to my database, not Eric's database.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And so then from there, the next day after I send the email, I call them up and I go, hey, it was great meeting you at the talk the other day. Out of curiosity, what's one thing that you got out of it that you can use? And you start the dialogue and go, hey, the reason for my call is, as I mentioned to you in my talk, that I'm always looking for people to coach with. And coaching is a personal, you know, it's got to be a fit, right? And they're going to say yes to that. So now I got a yes out of them, so their resistance is down, and now I'm in rapport immediately. And I say, you know what, one of the ways that I audition, one of the ways I get my coaching clients is I audition for it by giving away a free complimentary coaching session. And how I do that, how it would work is you and I would pick a time where we could spend about a half hour on the phone where we can be uninterrupted, and I have some questions that are designed to help you get to know you better, what your goals are, and any unique challenges that you have in your current situation. And then based off of that dialogue, I'm going to give you some of my best ideas that you can apply to your current situation. So at minimum, you're going to get one or two ideas that you're going to immediately benefit from, whether you and I work out a relationship or not. At the end of our call, if you liked how our session went, you want to know more about my ongoing coaching program, I'll share that with you, and you'll have the opportunity to become a client. If not, it's no big deal. How do you feel about scheduling a free coaching session with me? They're going to say yes to that. You run the coaching session. Hey, it was great talking with you. You know, great. You ready for your coaching session? Yes. Re-explain. You use an agenda script and re-explain how the call is going to go. And then your very first question is going to be, okay, let's say, well, let me ask you a question. You're in great health, right? Yes. You have a great relationship with your family, right? Yes. Okay. You don't have any pending, terminal illnesses, right? Yes. Let me ask you a question. Let's say a year from now, the powers that be that determine when your life is over have said, you know what, we're not going to allow you to die. We're just going to take you. Okay? And so 1 year from now, we're going to take you and you're going to be done. No, not going to be any pain. No funeral. You're just going to disappear. But between now and then, we're going to give you an unlimited bank account, and we're going to allow you to do whatever you want with your time. So here's a question I have for you. How would you spend your time if that was the case? Now, I could have asked the same question and said 5 years from now, right? But if I say
Right.
1 year from now, I'm going to really get what honestly is important to me.
Right.
And then I can
It's
narrow
harder to
it
think
down.
that far. Right.
Huh?
It's harder to think that far in advance. It's more tangible for them to see 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what happens is you take them through that dialogue, and really to get good at one-on-one coaching, the one thing you've got to remember constantly is it's all about them. It's all about them.
Mhm.
And it's like if you can find where somebody's goat is tied and you can figure out how to untie it, they'll walk with you wherever you want them to go. You know? And so if you find out what somebody's dream is, what their core dream is inside of them, and you can show them how to get there, because it's always going to come down to money. Always. It takes money to do things in this world. If they want to spend more time with their family, they're going to need more money, because what they're currently doing is not getting them there. And by coaching with you, Celia, you can show them different strategies for earning money that they haven't thought of already. And you're going to be able to impact them, because remember how you got them. You did a front of the room talk. You closed on Silver Protege. So they are in sales.
Mm-hmm.
And you can teach them a sales skill on how to get better. And so at the end of your coaching session, you know what? You know what, Joe? I really like talking with you today. And you know what? My coaching program, not only can I help you in sales, but I spend a lot of time helping people with their basic life, achieving certain things in their life, being happy, you know? And then you can close on them. You see how all that ties together?
Yeah, I like the way you just put it together, because you're not only there to help them with sales, there's other areas of their life that get affected, and everybody has usually, if not one, at least 2 or more areas that they need help in.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it. You got it.
That's great. Thank you, John. By the way, I have to thank you again for that 30-day video.
Okay.
How to start your business. That is, I'm using it as my blueprint to go back and make sure that I've covered all the bases.
There you go. There you go. It's a phenomenal video. I've got, I'm ordering up some special software that will allow me to edit these videos a lot better. And then I'm hiring 2 full-time people on Monday. And so I have the support, the administrative support and assistance to get that stuff done. And it's exciting. It's exciting where we're all going. I'm fired up to watch everybody grow and build their businesses. And reach out to me anytime, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you bet. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
You bet. Okay, where are we at as far as time? Okay, I've got to run because I've got a coaching call at 3 o'clock where I'm going to actually do another coaching session, but this one's going to be a free one, and I'm going to close this guy. So I don't have his permission, otherwise I'd let you guys sit in on that. But have a great weekend, and go out and make your dreams happen. Only you can make it happen. Have a great weekend.